Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So in this section we are reading in Bhagavatam about how King Indra was distributing benediction and also the sinful reaction he has accrued for killing a Brahmana. As you must have already read, listened, how King Indra, afraid of defeat, that Vishwarupa distributed the blessings of the yajna to his off brothers, quote unquote, the Asuras. Because from his father's side is a Brahmana, Suras are there, Aditi's sons. From his mother's side, mother is from Ashura background, so Asuras are there. So he distributed it without the knowledge of Yajaman for the yajna. When Indra came to know, he was afraid. Why? Because they also got the blessing, so they will be powerful enough to fight with him. And he thought that he may be defeated. Indra is, even though it is the king of the heaven, very powerful position, he doesn't have to worry actually. Indra's position, when it is given, it is going to last for one manvantara, 72 Divya Yugas. He doesn't have to actually worry. Nobody is going to remove him. Even if he is removed apparently, the Supreme Lord comes and says that, no, I am reinstating him. Because he is supposed to be for 72 Divya Yugas. Bali Maharaj forcefully removed him. But then Krishna has to come. So he doesn't have to really worry. Even if something happens, then it's only a matter of time. But even after possessing such power, even after possessing an assurance from the Supreme Lord himself that he will be Indra, even though if he is out of the throne, still he will be called Indra only. Even he may be roaming, hidden, he is Indra. So here we can see he was so insecure. He feels insecure actually. I don't know why he should be. Doesn't have to be. So he took a decision at the spot of the moment. Chopped off his head. 3 heads, Trishisha. So, knowing well that this is a Brahmana, killing a Brahmana will have very serious consequence. Very serious consequence. But he just took the decision out of passion. A lot of passion involved there. So, because he was afraid that these Asuras will become powerful and he has to spend a lot of time with them. So this being afraid and insecure is somewhat is a natural quality. It has become his habit. Shri Shri Radha Parthasarthi ki, Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshmananuman ki, Shri Shri Gaurnitai ki. Feeling the insecurity is something like it has become his second nature. Prithu Maharaj was performing Ashwamedha Yajnas. By the way, to become Indra, one has to perform 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas. If one performs 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas successfully, he will become Indra, not immediately. Whoever is sitting in Indra's position, he has to finish its term. 72 Divyagas, one Manvantara. So even if one person performs 100 Ashwamedha Yajna, then the Supreme Lord will find one Manvantara for him. That you don't have to immediately demand. Wait, you will be in the waiting list. When it will get confirmed, Krishna will tell you, okay, so in this Manvantara you become Indra. So even if one does 100 Ashwamedha Yajna, Indra doesn't have to worry because his position is secured for 72 Divya Yugas. Somebody become next, why he should worry? He doesn't really have to worry. Prithu Maharaj was performing 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas. 1, 2, 3, 90, 91, 92, 99, then 100. Then he was concerned. Hare. Why you are concerned? Even if that 100th yajna is completed, does it mean that the Supreme Lord will come, hey, utar jao niche, hey, aa gaya? Nahi. Next, if somebody becomes in next mantra, what is your problem? If you are in your position, in the future somebody is going to accept, you don't have to. But see, Indra was very concerned. He came to the Yajnashala, he stole the asham, the horse, which was meant for the yajna. The main ingredient is horse. The sacrifice is horse sacrifice. If you take the horse sacrifice minus horse is what? You can't do that. And how he took? By means of taking an imposter sannyas role. Prithu Maharaj's son was chasing him to try to catch him. Then he saw he's having a son. So by even just dressing up, a person gives respect. That is what happens. In India, by seeing the sadhu ka vesh pehen liya, then bolte Maharaj ji aiye, Maharaj ji baithe. So he said, Hare, how can I kill him? Chalo, cholo. Repeatedly, not just once. Different sannyas ways. Prabhupada says that all these imposter sannyasis of Kali Yuga, they are all Indra Chelas. Unse seekh liya. Unse lakar ke sannyas ban. So, then Brahma has to come and tell, Hare bhai, what is the need? Chalo, Prithu Maharaj. No, he is passionate. No, you become all that. Even if you don't do what is it, you are already a great personality. Satya Vesh Avatar. No need for it. Then Prithu Maharaj also agreed. So from Indra's point of view, he is very insecure. Even situation doesn't demand him to be insecure. So, not only that he is insecure, he is also ungrateful. So Indra was out of position by the curse, and then the Lord tells that, okay, do Samudra Samudra. When Samudra Mandan has to happen, the Lord becomes tortoise, holds the hill, Mandara hill, and then he sits on top of it also to give the balance. Then Amrit comes, he comes as Dhanvantari, and then to distribute it. Now we are here reading Vishwarup distributed to the demons, Asuras, without the knowledge. And Mohini has to come, and Mohini has to do the similar thing also. He didn't distribute the Amrita to the demons. He distributed. So all these things Lord Krishna does. And when Bali Maharaj became powerful, and he dethroned him, practically dethroned him. As I already mentioned, he comes as Vamanadev and then reinstates him. And Bali Maharaj wanted to become Indra. Very interestingly, Vamanadev says, you become Indra in the next Manvantara, not now. This is exactly the thing. Tumko bhi Indra banna hai na? No problem. Go to Sutala now. Be there. Enjoy the opulence. And I will be there also, don't worry. I will protect you. But then, next Manvantara I become Indra. This is the thing. Anybody qualifies to become. So Bali Maharaj qualified by the blessings of the Lord. By the blessings of the Lord. And the Lord said in the next Manvantara. So in this way, Indra seems to be a very special personality, to learn something and not to learn something. Lord Krishna comes and he descends, and all the demigods knew that this is Lord Krishna is descending to get rid of the burden on Mother Earth. When Krishna is in the womb of his mother, Devaki, then all the demigods circumambulated and showered flower and praised, glorified him by select prayers. When Krishna is performing his pastime, Krishna says, why to do yajna for Indra? Let us do Govardhan Puja. Indra becomes upset. This is the same person who has helped you so many times. Not a different person. In fact, he is the full person, supreme personality, Purna Purushottam. He is Purna Purushottam. Indra becomes upset. Then sends the rain. Krishna has to lift his Govardhan hill and then perform that pastime. After that, Indra says, oh, I am sorry. Govinda Kundi comes and bathes Supreme Lord, makes prayers. Then Indra goes back. When Lord Krishna was performing his pastime in Dwaraka, when Lord Krishna went to, Indraloka, Satyabhama said, this flower is nice. Can you take some flower? Parijat. No, we'll take the tree only. Transplantation. Indra becomes upset again. Hare! Krishna gave him the entire position when he was out of job. He reinstated him. What does one tree count in Indraloka? Just one tree. Indraloka is so vast. You got, so wonderful thing. So this is the position when one is. So he wanted to actually fight with the Krishna, actually, isn't it? Not knowing, already he knew that this same person, as a small boy he lifted Govardhan hill. What is the thing for him? Now he is more stronger actually. So this is the way of acting on the platform of passion. Spurt of the moment, immediate reaction. Something happens, action, reaction, immediate reaction. When one is in a position, he thinks he is very kind of powerful. I am so and so. Identifying with the position. Identification. All problem starts with identification is something which you are not. If you are spiritual, if you are Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi. Mayavadis use this term, but this is a Vedic statement. Aham Brahmasmi is correct. But thinking I am Bhagavan, that is not correct. But those who think Aham Brahmasmi, they think equivalent to God also, because for them only Brahman exists. Brahma, Mayavadis. But the person identification with I am so and so, I am this body. And connected to the body, anything that you identify, problem starts. That is why we are here. And the whole purpose of spiritual practice is to shift to the center. From the center, remove the I and put K. I am so and so. If you keep the things in center, everything is revolving around you. Put Krishna in the center. I am Krishna's. This is Krishna's I am temporarily doing. That is the whole purpose. So, Indra, because it's a very high position, it's very difficult to actually dissociate with something connected to the body. We have to be very careful. It is not only that only when you have Indra's position you can be very proud. One can be proud even if one is having a very tiny, insignificant thing. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, by means of some stories, he gives some instruction. There was a frog And the frog, once he found a coin. It may be, I don't know how many annas. 4 annas. 1 anna, I don't know. Small coin. We don't have annas now. Small coin. You can say, nowadays less than 1 rupee, 50 paisa, something like that. He thought because he got that, he was become, very proud. See, I am wealthy. Because comparing to something who is not having anything. Comparison, if we do with people who are inferior to us, then we can become proud. As a devotee, we should not think that, see, outside people, nobody is chanting. Even if I chant 1 round, I am better than them. If you compare with somebody, these people are all doing sinful activity, I am not doing, that itself is good. No, that's okay. But if we want to make progress, if we want to improve, we should compare with somebody who is ahead of us. Hare, he is doing so many things. I am not. You don't have to be, there is a difference between being envy. You don't have to be envious. Envious means if somebody is ahead of you, pull your leg. You should not go further than me. That is not required, prohibited. But if something can be done like that, why can't I also do? Sri Sri Lakshmi Narasingha Prahlad Ki Jai. If he can do something better, if he can sacrifice, how can I not do that? If he can do this, why I should not do? Improve ourselves by seeing somebody. That will help us to go further. So, a frog comparing other frogs who don't have 4 anna, thinking that I am more richer, and he is telling I am rich, and the elephant is coming. You should know what is elephant's strength, because he identified with that 4 anna and became very proud. He is telling, hey, I am such a powerful person today, not knowing the other person's power. Comparing with only other frogs in the pond, not having 4 anna. No, go. Who cares? The elephant is not going to catch. Flat. So it is not that only very high position can make a person to be proud. It can be even a very insignificant thing can make a person to be proud. One has to be, Indra is teaching, one has to be very careful. Learning, one has to learn. Identifying with the position. Identifying with his position and not trying to do activity which are thoughtless. He actually chopped off the heads of Vishwarupa, for which he has to undergo the reaction. Nobody is free from reaction. Anything done, there has to be a reaction. Unless one does pure devotional service, pure devotee of the Lord. Those who are on the path, one has to be careful also. Unless one is situated on the highest level of devotional service. Exceptional cases. Anybody doing activity, there has to be one concerned about reaction. If you don't, so here he didn't concern about thoughtless, immediately killed, for which he has to accept the sins. So we see here that one thing is, accepting it is also very important. Sometimes we may do something wrong, not accepting. चलता है, नहीं चलता है. An action is done, you are not free from reaction, as we have said already that not on the pure devotional platform, absolutely for Krishna's sake. Absolutely, nothing. As long as there is a tiny tinge of something in you for it. Something, it's for me. I am doing it because something I will get, reaction. And for devotees, that could, be amounting to a offense. Something could be amounting to an offense. One has to be very careful. We are hearing so much about offense, very dangerous. For progress in Krishna consciousness. If one is a serious candidate going back home, back to Godhead, he has to be very careful. Even unknowingly, we may not know it, we are committed, then still it acts. Rupa Goswami, he didn't intend to commit an offense against the devotee who was lame. He didn't intend. He was, bhajan and, relishing the pastime of the Lord. And is smiling, laughing, offended this devotee. And for that, even somebody like Rupa Goswami has to face the consequence. Can anybody expect to be exempted from any of the offenses? This is to teach us that however advanced you are, still you be careful. So if unintentionally somebody has done, sometimes we may commit intentionally also. Still think that, okay, how is it going to be possible? Are we on the way back home, back to God, or somewhere else? We have to be checking ourselves, status, which direction we are going. Like in the ship you are going, you have to see what direction, Compass is there, direction. You can't go directionless anyway. You will not reach the destination, that's all. Going back home, back to Godhead will never happen. Going back to Godhead never happens by accident, by the way. कैसा पहुंच गया मैं मालूम नहीं होने वाला नहीं. It has to be seriously pursued. Even seriously pursuing it becomes so difficult. What to speak of not so serious? So here Indra is teaching the example of accept. He said yes. It is stated earlier that even though he could counteract the sin accrued, still he accepted it. To set an example. नहीं लेना पड़ेगा चलो. Even though he could, he accepted the sin. So here, after accepting the sin, he distributed to the four, and this today is the fourth one. So he distributed 1/4 of the sin to water, and water is given. He gave benediction also. So then he gave the burden also. First good thing and then bad thing. The benediction he has given is that any substance mixed with it, the volume increases. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, milk, suppose milk, the tendency of a milkman, common, normal milkman, to increase the volume. 1 लीटर मिल्क आया, उसमें आधा लीटर पानी डाल दिया, देखने के लिए मालूम नहीं पड़ता है. Dilute हो गया, but then normal eyes you cannot see. So generally the milkman, थोड़ा पानी भी डाल दो, general tendency, then sell it. So once in 1 liter milk, half liter water is put, then it becomes 1.5 liter milk. Profit. And Prabhupada, right, you cannot identify unless you become a swan. So, Paramahamsa. A swan actually can identify, hey, ये सब नहीं है, तो पानी का दूध का दूध पानी का पानी कर देगा. Swan has a very special characteristic. You give the milk and water. Shh. Krishna's creation is so wonderful. We don't have a machine actually. Maybe scientists should work on a machine. Remove the water from the milk mixed with water. It can actually identify how much water content is there. Whether it can perfectly remove it or not, I'm not sure about it. So, the water has the quality, when it is mixed with the substance, it increases the volume. Prabhupada writes, so when you are making fruit juice में भी बहुत जूस लेना मुश्किल है, थोड़ा पानी डाल दो, बढ़ गया, ज़्यादा हो गया. So, this increasing volume is something interesting. This is a scientific principle. There was a king in Syracuse. And he once, connected to this, he once made a crown and he gave the gold to the goldsmith and he made the crown. It's a very, now coronation happened in Britain, no, like that crown. He gave the crown and the goldsmith brought the crown and gave. Then this goldsmith ka ek bhav hai, there is a saying that the goldsmith, even his own mother gives gold. Chalo, mere ko ek, you make one earring. If he gives the goldsmith ka inborn tendency is that even his own mother thoda chori kar lega. वो नेचर है. अरे तुम्हारा मम्मी थोड़ा लेना पड़ता है, नहीं तो itching है. If our own mother he can steal, what to speak of other people? So goldsmith का nature है थोड़ा चोरी करना है. So this king of Syracuse, he wanted to find out, एक crown तो दिया, ये पूरा gold है कि चोरी किया? Now it has got a very odd shape, It's not having a regular shape, irregular shape. So he wanted to know whether all this is in gold or not. So there was a learned person named Archimedes. Archimedes Tattva, the principle of Archimedes. Those who have studied science, you may know. उनको बोला, वो सोच रहा था, क्या करेगा? He was actually taking bath. In the West, they take bath in the bathtub. Bathtub was full with water. So he got into it. As he got into the tub, then water spilled out. Then, bulb jal gaya. He jumped out of the water and he started running, Eureka, Eureka, Eureka. By the way, he was taking bath naked. Aadat hai un log ka. And he was not even knowing that, he was naked, he was running. Found out. Went to the king. Arey bhai, kyun naked hai? Arey, abhi malum pada main naked hai. You are so absorbed. Meditation, this is another thing. Meditation means you are so absorbed, you don't know what is happening around. He said, I found out. What do you found out? I found out that, his principle is that, water. When in water, exactly like you put another liquid substance, then it increases the volume. But if you put a solid substance, see what is the quality of the earth, solid? It possesses 5 characteristics, whereas water is more subtler. So what is applicable in subtle is applicable in gross also, grosser than the element. So what is applicable in liquid is applicable for solid also. He said, if you put a solid in a water, it will replace exactly the same volume of 1 cubic centimeter. If you insert 1 cubic centimeter of water will come out. He's a scientist, very old scientist. Then he had a calculation between volume of this mukut, crown, what is it? And then that volume is compared to density. Silver's density is lesser than actually gold's density. So whether he mixed with the silver or not, that was the question actually. Then you calculate it, then you know whether actually gold or not. Coming back to Bhagavatam. This Bhagavatam states this. Archimedes came now. It is actually principle of Bhagavatam. This is the benediction of Indra actually. The amount of volume of the liquid to be displaced by the solid immersed in it is the benediction of Indra. Indra ko koi credit nahi diya, khali Archimedes ko credit diya. This is the principle that interestingly science is also talking about volume is accepted, same amount, the liquid. That is the benediction for the water given by Indra. And for that the sinful reaction here is, the water is supposed to carry bubbles and foams, especially when the river is running very fast. Then you'll find some bubbles and foams are coming. And these are actually the sins that water has accepted from Indra. So, when one collects water, he tries to avoid the foam and the bubbles. And if you collect with the bubble, then you are collecting the sin. When you are drinking that water, it will be sin. Especially if you are going to do Abhishek for the Lord, for some sacred purposes. They go to holy place to collect water, right? Ganga, Yamuna, like that. You don't collect it from where the bubbles are coming. Even if the stable water is there, then you'll have to remove the foam like that. You just do little here and there, then the kachra will go away. Then you collect the water without bubble and foam. Bubble and foam. That is, because the bubble and foam will be no sinful reaction and you can't use that for sacred purposes. So, in this connection, one small story about, because here we see that Indra accepted the sin and to get rid of the sin, he actually went to all the way down south, a place near Kanyakumari called Suchindram. Suchindram. Suchi, Indram is Suchindram. Indra purified himself from the sin. So this is actually a place where Atri Rishi and Anasuya, they used to have their hermitage. Once the Trimurtis, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, they wanted to test the chastity of Anasuya. And they went to their ashram and Anasuya welcomed and she started serving. And they said, these are Trimurtis in the form of Brahmanas. So they said, we want you to serve, naked. We will accept only when you serve naked. Brahmanas coming and telling a chaste woman, you do prasadam service naked, then we will accept. No problem. By her power of chastity, she converted these Trimurtis as babies. 3 babies. And 3 babies, and she was feeding all 3 babies and they were drinking milk. Then Saraswati, Lakshmi and Parvati were concerned. They had 3 husbands. And they came. Where are our people? These are the 3 babies you take. They can't even distinguish between who is who actually. Then they brought Atri. Atri bola, Anasuya ko, ठीक है, वापस कर दो इन लोग का. So then Anasuya, by means of our power of, you can understand the power of chastity. Even the Trimurtis can be taken on task. You came and asked to be fed by naked. By the way, she served naked when they were babies. Fulfilled their thing. But then they became babies and their wives have to come and beg. And then Atri said, okay, you bring it back. And they were made back as Brahma, Shiva and Vishnu. And the deity there as all 3 combined together, Suchindram. And this is both, all 3, Brahma, Shiva and Lord Vishnu, the deity in the form of a linga. And in this place, Indra went to do tapasya to purify of his sins. Purify of the sin. So much so that even now the place is called Suchindram, Suchi Indram, where Indra got purified. So with that, we see that Indra's activities are very extraordinary. Sometimes he does activities which also gets him into trouble, and then Krishna is bringing them out of trouble also, and lot of lessons to be learned, how not to act by the instigation of the senses on immediate, little bit thoughtful, things will be very different and one can actually make progress. Plus, how to accept the mistake also. Even after doing the mistake, not accepting will be more serious consequence. Accepting it and undergoing the consequence is a very good thing, and that can be used by us, not committing any mistakes and offenses in our devotional service, so that our progress in Krishna consciousness is a safe journey. We'll stop here. Any comments or questions? Yes, Prabhu.
हरे कृष्णा, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। तो प्रभु जी ने बड़ी अच्छी व्याख्या की है। द्रव्य भूयः, जो जल ने जो वरदान प्राप्त किया इंद्र से, द्रव्य भूयः का मतलब है कि आयतन बढ़ जाएगा। तो आयतन बढ़ जाएगा तो प्रभुपाद तो ये बताते हैं कि जैसे दूध में पानी मिला दिया तो आयतन बढ़ गया। लेकिन दूसरा अर्थ ये भी इन्होंने बताया कि जो चीज़ें घुलती नहीं हैं और पानी में डाल दी जाएँ तो पानी का आयतन बढ़ जाता है। तो ये जो है, ये भी एक वरदान है जो जल ने प्राप्त किया। जो चीज़ें घुल जाती हैं, जैसे नमक डालो है, तो आपने जितना भी नमक डाला और घुल गया, आयतन नहीं बढ़ेगा, है ना। लेकिन अगर जो है कोई चीज़ घुलती नहीं है, बालू डालो घुलेगी नहीं, तो आयतन बढ़ जाएगा। तो आयतन बढ़ने का एक ये बार है। अब यहाँ पर जो मलम है, जल का मल है, जो बुदबुद और फेना, ये जल का मल है। तो इसके संबंध में एक जो है कथा आती है। नमुची नाम का एक असुर था, तो जिसने ब्रह्मा जी से वर मांगा। तो असुर लोग जो है कई प्रकार के वर मांगते हैं मृत्यु से बचने के लिए, कि उनकी मृत्यु ना हो। तो कई प्रकार के वर मांगते हैं। हिरण्यकशिपु ने कई प्रकार के वर मांगे कि वो उसकी मृत्यु ना हो। उसने वर मांगा ब्रह्मा जी से, और दिमाग भी बहुत लगाते हैं कि क्या वर मांगना चाहिए, कि ब्रह्मा जी ऐसे तो वरदान देंगे नहीं कि मृत्यु ना हो। तो उसने जो है ये वर मांगा ब्रह्मा जी से कि मैं किसी गीली चीज़ से ना मरूं और ना सूखी चीज़ से मरूं। आप बताओ कोई चीज़ या तो गीली होगी या सूखी होगी, हैं? तो कौन सी चीज़ हो सकती है जो गीली भी ना हो, सूखी ना हो। तो नमुची जो है, जो उसने कुछ ऐसा किया था, अपराध किया था, तो इंद्र उसको मार रहे थे। तो मर नहीं सकता, वो किसी प्रकार से नहीं मर सकता, इंद्र के वज्र से भी नहीं मर सकता। तो फिर वो परेशान हो गए, क्या करें। तो दिमाग लगाए उन्होंने कि क्या, तो समुद्र में जो फेना था, फेना, तो फेना को आप ना तो सूखा कह सकते हैं ना गीला कह सकते हैं। तो फेना लगाया उन्होंने अपने हथियार में, वज्र में फेना लगाया, है ना। जब फेना से उसको जब मारा, वज्र से मारा तो वज्र से ही फेना चारों तरफ से लगा था। तो अब वो ना सूखा है ना गीला है, तो जो है उसको मार दिया। इस प्रकार से मरा है। अब यहाँ जो जल की बात आई है कि जल ने जो है स्वीकार किया। तो जल भी एक देवता है। जल के देवता हैं वरुण, वरुण देवता हैं, और अदिति के पुत्र वरुण के रूप में भी हुए। तो अभी त्वष्टा के जो वंश है उसी की चर्चा चल रही है। त्वष्टा अदिति के पुत्र हैं, और आगे चल कर के वरुण का भी आएगा कि उनके भी जो है वंश में कौन कौन हुए। तो इंद्र ने जो है जल के देवता को ये वर दिया। तो जल के देवता वरुण, तो इनका जो है बड़ा ऐश्वर्य है। श्रीमद् भागवत के 10वें स्कंद में वर्णन आता है कि नंद महाराज एक बार जल में स्नान करने गए, और वो जो है उस समय पता नहीं चलता था कि मतलब सवेरा होने वाला है। आजकल तो घड़ी है, तो घड़ी से आपको पता चल जाता है कि भाई क्या टाइम है, लेकिन समय का पता नहीं चलता। तो उन्होंने सोचा कि ब्राह्मण मुहूर्त आ गया, तो ब्राह्मण मुहूर्त समझ करके उन्होंने जल में स्नान किया, यमुना जी की जल में स्नान किया। लेकिन वो ब्राह्मण मुहूर्त नहीं था, वो निशाकाल चल रहा था। तो वरुण के जो अनुचर थे वो इंद्र नंद महाराज को जो है बांध करके और वरुण लोक में ले गए। और वरुण ने जब देखा कि भगवान के पिता हैं तो बड़े प्रसन्न हो गए कि अब तो भगवान जरूर दर्शन देंगे, बड़े प्रसन्न हुए। और फिर बाकी जो है ब्रजवासियों में शोर मच गया कि नंद महाराज जो है लापता हो गए, यमुना जी में लापता हो गए। तो सब जो है बहुत चिंतित हो गए। तो श्री कृष्ण तो परमेश्वर हैं और सब कुछ जानते हैं। तो श्री कृष्ण समझ गए कि यमुना जी में बहे नहीं है। हर कोई सोच रहा है कि यमुना जी में बह करके चले गए। यमुना जी में नहीं बहे, बल्कि वरुण लोक में है। तो भगवान कृष्ण बलदेव जी के हरि बोल, नहीं आ रहा है। स्तुति कर रहे हैं, प्रार्थना कर रहे हैं, तो लगता है कि कृष्ण जो है कोई देवता है। वो सोच अब देवता, कृष्ण को देवता समझना भी तो बहुत एक प्रकार से अपमान की बात है। लेकिन नंद महाराज जो है, तो भगवान ने उनको योग माया से इस प्रकार उनका ज्ञान ढका हुआ है कि वो अपना पुत्र मान रहे हैं। तो लगता है कृष्ण जो है कोई देवता है, और वरुण देवता से भी बड़े देवता होंगे। तो इस प्रकार से जो है ब्रजवासी लोग सोच रहे हैं। तो वरुण देवता का जो है एक लोक है, वो जल के देवता हैं, और वो समुद्र में लोक है। हिरण्याक्ष जब समुद्र में जो है अपना पराक्रम दिखा रहा था, उससे कोई योद्धा नहीं मिल रहा था, प्रतिद्वंदी नहीं मिल रहा था जिससे मैं युद्ध करूं, तो समुद्र में जो है इसी प्रकार से विचरण करते करते समुद्र का पानी उछालते उछालते वरुण लोक में पहुंच गया। तो वरुण का लोक है ना। और यमुना में नंद महाराज स्नान कर रहे हैं और वरुण लोक में पहुंच गए, वो तो समुद्र में है ना। तो इस प्रकार जल की कुछ ऐसी धाराएं हैं जो कि जल से जल तक आती हैं। वरुण देवता का एक पुत्र था बंदी, तो जनक महाराज के सभा में आया बंदी, तो वरुण देवता का पुत्र था। तो उसने जो है मतलब ये शर्त रखी जनक महाराज से कि जिस ब्राह्मण के साथ में मैं शास्त्रार्थ करूं और वो अगर पराजित हो जाए तो उसको जल में डुबा दिया जाए। तो ऐसे जो है 12 ब्राह्मणों को उसने जो है जल में शास्त्रार्थ में पराजित किया और जल में डुबा दिया। तो किसी भी जल में डुबा दो वो वरुण लोक में पहुंचा देंगे, पहुंच गए। तो वरुण देवता यज्ञ कर रहे थे, उन्हें 12 ब्राह्मणों की आवश्यकता थी, तो वरुण के पुत्र ही बंदी जो है शास्त्रार्थ में हरा करके उन ब्राह्मणों को वरुण लोक में भेज रहे थे। तो कहीं भी कुंड में उनको जो है डुबा दिया जाए, और अगर वरुण देवता चाहेंगे तो वहां से वो समुद्र में चला जाएगा और वरुण के लोक में पहुंच जाएगा। और बाद में अष्टावक्र मुनि जो कि अपने पिता कहोड़ के पुत्र थे, और उनके पिता को जो है बंदी ने जल में जो है डुबवा दिया था। तो अष्टावक्र जब आए, उन्होंने बंदी को हराया, तो फिर जनक महाराज से कहा कि बंदी हारा है, अब इसको भी जल में डुबाओ। तो बंदी ने कहा कि नहीं, आप चिंता मत करो, मैंने जिन ब्राह्मणों को जल में डुबाया है वो मेरे पिता के लोक में वो यज्ञ कर रहे हैं, और वो जो है वापस आ जाएंगे, और मैं जो है अभी खुद ही जल में डूब करके और उनको भेज रहा हूँ। तो बंदी स्वयं जल में डूब गया और अपने पिता वरुण के लोक में चला गया। अब देखो कितना आश्चर्य है, जल की जो है ऐसी धाराएं हैं जो कि कहीं भी कुंड में कोई भी डूब जाए और वरुण लोक में चला जाएगा। और फिर जो है अष्टावक्र के पिता कहोड़ मुनि भी आ गए, पानी से निकल आए। तो वरुण देवता का लोक कहाँ है? समुद्र में है। और यहाँ किसी भी जो है कुंड में पानी भरा है, उससे जो है कोई व्यक्ति आप से निकल आता है, बाहर निकल आता है, और वहाँ से डूब करके बंदी वहाँ डूब गया और वरुण लोक में पहुँच गया। तो जल में जो है मतलब इतनी भी शक्ति है, और जल के देवता में इतनी शक्ति है कि ऐसा भी हो जाता है। जल में एक और भी विशेष गुण है, हमारे विज्ञान में जो है ये पूछा जाता है। पानी में जो है जब टेम्परेचर जो है 0 से भी नीचे जाता है, 0 से नीचे जाता है, तो जमीन में जितने भी चीज़ें हैं सब मर जाते हैं, और बर्फ़ ही बर्फ़ जम जाती है, ज़मीन में भी बर्फ़ जम जाती है, कहीं भी पेड़ पौधे नहीं होते हैं, पशु पक्षी नहीं होते, कुछ नहीं होता। लेकिन पानी में जो है जितनी मछलियाँ हैं वो सब सुरक्षित और बिल्कुल जीवित रहती हैं। इसका क्या कारण है? तो हमें पढ़ाया गया, साइंस में पढ़ाया गया कि इसका क्या कारण है। विदेशों में मतलब पानी, ज़मीन का जो टेम्परेचर है वो कभी -70 तक जाता है, -70, -30, -70 तक जाता है ना। तो ज़मीन में भी बर्फ़ जम जाती है, तो कोई जिंदा नहीं रह पाता। लेकिन पानी में क्या है? पानी में एक गुण है। पानी में क्या गुण है? समुद्र में जैसे पानी भरा हुआ है, तो जब टेम्परेचर, हवा का टेम्परेचर बहुत कम हुआ, तो जैसे ही पानी जो है ठंडा होता है, तो ठंडा होता तो भारी होता है, तो पानी नीचे जाता है, भारी पानी नीचे जाता है, और जो गर्म पानी है वो ऊपर आता है। इस प्रकार से वो पानी ठंडा होता जाता है, और ठंडा पानी नीचे जाएगा और गर्म पानी ऊपर आएगा। इस प्रकार से लगातार पानी जो है समुद्र का ठंडा होता जाता है, ठंडा होता जाता है। और जब 4 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड तक हो जाता है पानी, उसके बाद फिर पानी का क्या गुण है कि पानी जो है अब हल्का हो जाए। अब 4 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड से जो है पानी क्या हो गया, हल्का हो गया, अब वो नीचे जाएगा नहीं। तो पानी का जो है ऊपर की जो लेयर है, सतह है, वो 4 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड तक बनी रहती है, वो पानी नीचे जाता ही नहीं है। और जो नीचे का पानी वो 4 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड तक बना रहता है। तो 4 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड में जो मछलियाँ हैं, जल के जितने भी जलचर जल जंतु हैं, वो सब सुरक्षित बने रहते हैं। तो पानी का ये गुण है ना। तो ये जो है मतलब कुछ विशेष गुण है जो कि जल में है और पृथ्वी में नहीं है। पृथ्वी में पेड़ पौधे कुछ नहीं जीवित रहेंगे। कोई ठंड में जो है कुत्ते मर जाते हैं, कुत्तों की तो बड़ी बुरी मौत होती है ठंड में। लेकिन पानी के अंदर चाहे जितनी भी ठंड हो, वो 4 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड से नीचे पानी ठंडा होगा ही नहीं। और 4 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड में जो है जो जीव जंतु हैं पानी के अंदर बड़े सुरक्षित रहते हैं। तो पानी में मतलब इस प्रकार का जो है विनाश नहीं होता है। ठंड जो है विनाश करती है तो पृथ्वी में के जो जीव जंतु हैं उनका विनाश कर देती है, लेकिन पानी के अंदर फिर भी सुरक्षा रहती है ना। तो ये पानी का गुण है। तो यहाँ पर यही बताया गया है कि जल ने जो है यानी वरुण देवता, जल के देवता वरुण देवता हैं। तो वरुण देवता ने जो है जब देखा कि ब्रह्म हत्या लेने से एक गुण जो है मुझे प्राप्त हो गया, तो उसने जो है कि वो जो है ब्रह्म हत्या का चौथा हिस्सा ले लिया। हरे कृष्ण। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।